Tony Hayward faced the press on a Venice, Louisiana dock. It was the 30th of May 2010, and 40 days earlier, the BP Deepwater Horizon oil rig had exploded, killing 11 rig workers, injuring dozens, and beginning a gusher that over the next 100 days would pump 500,000 barrels of crude oil into the Gulf of Mexico waters. The BP chief executive officer was feeling beleaguered and wanted to change the story. It was all BP doesn't care all the time, and he wanted to show he cared. So he faced the press and he said, "You know, no one wants this over more than I do. You know, I'd like my life back." It didn't work. Instead of showing he cared, "I'd like my life back" was interpreted as self-pity, that he cared only for himself. "I'd like my life back" became a career-defining moment for Tony Hayward. 100 days later, he was out of a job, no longer the chief executive officer. "I'd like my life back" is also a wake-up call to all leaders about the power of communication, how harnessed effectively it can build competitive advantage, but how harnessed ineffectively it can cause meaningful self-inflicted harm. Hello, I'm Helio Fred Garcia, and I'm the author of The Power of Communication: Skills to Build Trust, Inspire Loyalty, and Lead Effectively. For the last 33 years, I've helped leaders build the trust and confidence of those who matter to them. I've helped leaders manage their relationships and engagements with their stakeholders in order to build competitive advantage. The book, The Power of Communication, does three things. First, it harvests the lessons over 33 years of what works well, the best practices in effective leadership communication. Second, it harnesses the strategy and leadership principles of the United States Marine Corps as found in their doctrinal publication, Warfighting, which is required reading for every Marine. The warfighting concepts serve as a strategic reference point for leaders on how to be effective in building towards competitive advantage through verbal engagement. And finally, it looks at the example of leaders who use the power of communication effectively and those who use the power of communication ineffectively and cause self-inflicted harm. The book culminates with the elaboration of the 9 principles of effective leadership communication, and for the balance of our time together, we will look at each of those principles in turn and learn how we can build our leadership skills harnessing the power of communication.